WPBF 25 News at 6 starts with breaking news.
I was completely in shock. I didn't think this could happen at Florida State.
I hear more. It was like 5 gunshots in a row, and everybody got up, looked at each other, and just started running.
It was pretty traumatizing. Like, you know, you always hear about these things. You never really expect to be in one.
It's a shame. Horrible thing. Horrible that things like this take place.
Our breaking news right now at 6 o'clock, tragedy at Florida State University in Tallahassee. A deadly mass shooting on campus. At least 2 people are confirmed dead, 6 others injured in the mass shooting. Shots fired into the school's student union about noon today. The shooting sent crowds across campus running for cover. We've learned the 2 people who died in that shooting are not students of the university. Law enforcement confirms the shooting suspect is believed to be a 20-year-old Florida State student named Phoenix Eichner. He is the son of a Leon County Sheriff's Deputy. Good evening. Thank you for joining us here at 6 p.m. I'm Todd McDermott.
And I'm Tiffany Kinney. We have been following every development in this shooting now for the past 6 hours. We have team coverage tonight as reporter Ari Hyde is learning more about the terrifying moments for students on campus. Let's start with our Yasmin Julmis, who joins us live in the studio with the latest on the suspect. Yasmin.
Tiffany, Todd, good evening. We've been digging more into the suspect. Officials identified him as 20-year-old Phoenix Eichner, a student at the university. We believe he's a junior and a political science major. We also learned just a few moments ago that he's the son of a Leon County deputy.
And he's the son of a Leon County Sheriff deputy. Our Deputy Eichner, has been with the Leon County Sheriff's Office for over 18 years. She has a tremendous job that she's done. Her service to this community has been exceptional. Unfortunately, her son had access to one of her weapons.
The sheriff believes Phoenix Eichner used one of his mother's personal weapons in the shooting. They found a handgun and a shotgun at the scene, but it's unclear if the shotgun was used. Officials also said Eichner was heavily involved in the Leon County Sheriff's Office Youth Advisory Council, so he's very familiar with the department. At this time, the campus is now secure, though the Student Union building is still an active crime scene. Law enforcement confirmed that the 2 people who were shot and killed were not students, but have not confirmed their identities yet. They also have not specified if the other 6 who were injured are students, faculty, and/or staff. As of now, students are able to return to their dorms, but have been asked to stay indoors on the main campus, and all classes have been canceled through Friday. Nearby, FAMU has also canceled classes for today. Tomorrow, there will be a vigil held on FSU's campus at 5 p.m. Now, Governor Ron DeSantis just posted on social media just moments ago saying, quote, "This killer must and will be brought to justice to the fullest extent of the law." The governor also taking a moment to thank the first responders for stopping the shooter and saving lives. In studio, Yasmin Julmis, WPBF 25 News.
Yasmin, thank you. And we continue our team coverage tonight as we're hearing from students who were on campus during the shooting. Reporter Ari Hyde joining us now. And Ari, these students are describing panic and fear as they started to piece together what was happening.
Yeah, panic, fear, terror, those are some of the words that I've been hearing as I've been talking to students, and not just the students who are in or around the student union. Of course, they were terrified, running or hiding, just trying to get away, trying to stay safe, but also for the students who weren't around the student union, ones on other parts of the campus who are just hearing bits and pieces of the details, not knowing what was happening, not knowing where the shooter might go next.
About 15 seconds before the actual shooting happened, a bunch of kids started running around screaming, and we're just like, oh, what's going on? And then probably maybe 10 gunshots happened, and everyone's like, oh my God. People were going everywhere. Some went up like a maintenance elevator, some went up some staircases. We just kind of went in a corner, then hid behind some trash cans, made a little fort out of plywood. And then I would say about 5-10 minutes later, cops came in, everyone had their hands up, they all checked us, and now we're here just wait and see what happens next.
I just hear
About 15 seconds before the actual shooting happened, a bunch of kids started running around screaming, and we're just like, oh, what's going on? And then probably maybe 10 gunshots happened, and everyone's like, oh my God. People were going everywhere. Some went up like a maintenance elevator, some went up some staircases. We just kind of went in a corner, then hid behind some trash cans, made a little fort out of plywood. And then I would say about 5-10 minutes later, cops came in, everyone had their hands up, they all checked us, and now we're here just wait and see what happens next.
I just hear gunshots, and I was like, oh, that's weird, but I didn't realize like how close they were. and I hear more. It was like 5 gunshots in a row, and everybody got up, looked at each other, and just started running.
I just tried to remain calm the entire time. It was kind of surreal what was happening. I didn't really think I'd ever be in a situation like this. You know, you always see this kind of stuff on the news, and you'd be like, how are things like this continue to be allowed and continue to happen? But I never thought I'd be in a classroom in the same kind of scenario.
Florida state officials have already announced they will be offering counseling to anybody who needs it, whether that be students or staff. And like Yasmin mentioned a short time ago, there's also a vigil planned on the campus at 5 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. Reporting live, Ari Height, WPBF 25 News.
Ari, thank you. And of course, this news hitting hard for families and survivors of the mass school shooting in Parkland.
Valentine's Day 2018, Josh Gallagher was a junior at Stoneman Douglas High School during that shooting. He is now a student at Florida State University and posted on social media, quote, take a look. After living through the MSD shooting in 2018, I never thought it would hit close to home again. Then I'm in the FSU Law Library and hear an alarm, active shooter on campus. No matter your politics, we need to meet. Something has to change. Prayers to the victims and families. And Fred Guttenberg, whose daughter Jamie was killed in the Parkland school shooting, says, again, some of her classmates do attend Florida State University. He took to social media as well, saying, quote, as a father, all I ever wanted after the Parkland shooting was to help our children be safe. Sadly, because of the many people who refuse to do the right things about reducing gun violence, I'm not surprised by what happened today. Again, that's a quote from Fred Guttenberg.
This is not the first tragedy that's happened at FSU. You may recall back in November of 2014, a gunman shot an employee and 2 students inside the library just after midnight. Police then opened fire and killed him. 1 person was left paralyzed from the waist down. All 3 victims survived.
Since so many of our viewers know students who attend FSU and may have been on campus today, we want to share the FBI is asking anybody with photos or videos to please send them to investigators as they go through this case. They can be submitted on the FBI website, fbi.gov/FSU shooting. We'll, of course, continue to follow all the breaking developments on the shooting at Florida State today, including any new details about the victims on the air here and online at WPBF.com and on our free news app. Reporter Caleb Califano is traveling to Tallahassee as we speak. He'll have live reports starting tomorrow morning. ABC News.